We bought an abandoned land to build an off-grid house. It was abandoned for 50 years, so it needed a lot of work. We started 1 year ago, and after it was all clean, we marked the house with wooden stakes, locating it where it belonged. Our property is on a slope, so the first thing that we needed to do was to flatten the area, and for that we hired our neighbor, Charneka. After a few weeks of excavation and many beers later, Charneka got it all done. It did not come out exactly how we planned it, but it was good enough to start building. So we did all the string work, and after that we painted the foundation on the ground. At that point we needed to start excavating the foundation, and unfortunately we knew that Charneka was not going to be accurate enough for that task, so we welcomed our first volunteer. The volunteer got all the excavation done, including the big sunken living room area that we have in the middle of the house. This living room area is going to be the main space of the house, but it has made us to do so much extra work that I hope it pays off in the future. After all the excavation was done, we installed a geotextile fabric to separate the clay soil from the build, installed all the drain pipes, electrical conduits, and started the form work of the concrete foundation, which was a major job for 2 people, but after weeks of tough and precise work, we got it all done. Right after that, we added a vapor barrier, a layer of insulation, and all the rebar to reinforce the concrete. It was all ready now to pour concrete. After waiting 7 days for the concrete to cure well, we had the foundation of the house. Now we insulated the foundation on the inside and filled everything with gravel, which led us to now, 1 year later, when we got to work on the sunken living room area, installing all its layers, insulation, vapor barrier, waterproofing membrane, rebar, gradient floor heating pipes, and pour and finish our first concrete slab. All of this in this video. Although, spoilers alert, after 1 year of work, we were not very lucky with the weather on the most important day of all. It looks like a lot of rain is coming, so it's gonna be a fun day. Have you seen the clouds?
We are lucky people.
Yeah.
Today is not going to rain.
All right. Today was not the day. I'm going to start forming the floor of the living room, the sunken living room. And in order to do that, I need to mark where it actually is, because we dug a hole that was bigger than the actual floor that we needed. I am going to measure from here, burning 1 meter. That means, as you can see, I'm not measuring from 0 like this. I'm taking 1 meter off. That way you are a little bit more accurate. I'm gonna make sure that I clamp it exactly at 1 meter. From there I'm gonna measure Eugenia's back from the garden with a bunch of potatoes. 10 meters, 94 centimeters and a half. so it will be 1 meter more. There he goes, my only help.
I'm going back.
15 minutes on it.
No puedo más, I can't no more! I can't! I guess we're done for today. 2 days ago it's like 38 degrees and now we cannot walk because it's raining.
笑出ちゃっちゃってちゃんの
Oh, it is!
I'm mirando.
Oh, yeah, you were taking cover there. Double protection, Lolita. Living off the grid comes with many challenges, especially during winter, where there are less hours of sun and many days are cloudy. So our main battery does not actually charge much. Sometimes, after a few days of rain, we run out of electricity completely and find ourselves in complete pitch black, without lights, with the fridge off, and not being able to edit videos or get any work done in the computer. A few weeks ago, I received the Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus portable power station with an expandable battery pack, and had been testing it during those nights to power the whole cabin and the workshop. Being able to work on editing videos at night or just to have the light back in the cabin is a great luxury, especially when living off the grid during winter. The Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus has a maximum output of 6 kilowatts, which is a crazy amount of power, powerful enough to power the whole cabin and all our appliances and tools, and it has a max capacity of up to 24 kilowatts hour. Every single power station supports up to 5 add-on battery packs at a time, expanding the power from 2 kilowatts hour that has the main body up to 12 kilowatts hour for road trips, outdoor camping, heavy-duty usage or home emergencies. And on top of that, 2 Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus power stations can be connected together, expanding the power to 24 kilowatts hour. Mine came with an extra battery pack that sits on top of the power station, adding another 2 kilowatts hour to the setup for a total of 4 kilowatts hour, and the extra battery can be charged directly through solar panels on its own. Lithium iron phosphate cells ensure a 10-year ultra-long endurance. The battery level remains at 70% after 4,000 charge cycles, and it performs well at high temperature since it adopts electroless air lithium battery technology, the same battery structure that Tesla uses, ensuring the cells to operate efficiently and safely. It features what they call Charge Shield, which is Jackery's industry-leading fast charge technology that uses a unique stepped variable speed charging algorithm to enhance safety and increase the lifespan of the battery pack by 50%. Even during the most hot summer days at around 45 degrees, which is what we have here, the power station can be fully charged in 5.5 hours. And the sturdy double wheels and pull handle makes it very easy to transport wherever you need the power. In normal conditions, you can charge from 0 to 100 in a couple of hours if you are charging it from an outlet, or also in 2 hours using solar if you use 6 Jackery solar sagas of 200 watts each. And it can also be charged using the card outlet while driving. The noise level while charging is almost unnoticeable, with less than 30 decibels, activating the quiet charging mode from the Jackery Smart App control. Their solar panels are the industry-leading solar conversion efficiency, with up to 25% more power production. They generate 50% more power in low light conditions compared to normal solar panels, which is great for the winter season. Enjoy Jackery Black Friday of 2023 on the official store and in Amazon. Up to 50% off on Jackery solar generators and portable power stations from November 3rd to November 27th. I will leave all the links in the description box. I'm dry again. It's the next day. Yesterday we were able to actually finish all the forms because it stopped raining like 2 hours after it rained. I didn't film it because, you know, it was gonna rain again and I didn't want to risk having the camera in the middle of the rain again. We finished the whole form. I'm gonna show it now. We put the form actually at the proper elevation. I needed to actually raise it up 4 centimeters from what I did a couple of days ago. I made a mistake with the laser because I couldn't see the laser and I was referring everything with the receptor, and the receptor is just awful. They are not accurate. It's like 4 centimeters off. Yesterday I was able to actually see the laser and I did everything properly. Right now the top of the form is 70 centimeters from the top of the foundation, what I designed in the plan. Doing that I needed to actually raise the form, as I said, and now we have a little bit of gap underneath it that we need to fill with gravel. That's what I'm doing now with the volunteer. Are we ready for second chapter?
I have to time it.
We just finished installing the XPS and the perimeter that you just saw with a 45-degree piece like this. They always recommend when you're using PVC or any kind of waterproofing membrane to make the corners like this. So the membrane comes over here and then goes 45 degrees and up instead of an actual 90 degrees, because that's a very weak point for waterproofing membranes. At some point with years it might break over there and you lost the waterproofing part of the waterproofing membrane. But the next task that we're gonna do is to actually waterproof with a PVC membrane. This is a sunken living room, as I said many times, but it works like a basement since it is dug out, so the water will try to find its way here at some point. We're gonna try to direct the water elsewhere, but anyways, water is always very tricky. At some point, if water finds their way over here, it might collect in between the concrete wall and this area. Also, we have a drain there that we installed in case that the drain fails or gets clogged and the water raises. It's a big deal. It's actually a very big deal. If you have a basement, 99% chances that you know what I'm talking about because you have the issue. But anyways, so we're gonna waterproof the whole thing on the outside with a PVC membrane, so any water that is on the outside won't find its way by pressure or capillarity to the concrete. At least we're gonna try, right? At the beginning I was planning to do it with an asphaltic membrane, but then we switched it to PVC, and I ordered it yesterday, actually this morning, and it won't arrive until late next week. We're gonna finish a couple of layers more that we have here, and then after that we might stop the video here just because we don't have more material to work with. Again, so I need to turn this off. My dad has a roofing company for like over 30 years. So yesterday I was on the phone with him trying to get some knowledge, and he explained me a little bit how to weld the PVC membrane, and I did some tests yesterday. I also laid up the plan of how we're gonna waterproof the sunken living room. And also he said that when he was my age he could carry 2 rolls of this at once. I don't know why, but I think he was lying. Yeah, there's no fucking way. There is no fucking way. Yeah. Not a single chance, that's true. Alright, so I'm going to do another final test. I'll see how I managed to do this, because this is the first time that I am gonna try to weld a proper waterproofing membrane. I mean, I did this yesterday, so technically this is the second time. The first thing that you need to do is to use a piece of fabric, in this case a geotextile, and clean with paint cleaner. I don't know how it's called in English. I think it's spirit something. And you need to be sure that you pick one that doesn't leave any oil in it, so it evaporates after cleaning. And what I'm gonna do is gonna clean the whole thing properly. Turn the machine on because it needs to heat up. It takes like 3 minutes. Now it's on, but the air is cold. It's because it's at 0. I'm gonna put it at 7. When you do the test like this, you need to try to put this inside to check that is actually sealed. It's perfectly sealed. At some point I need to actually do it where it needs to be, instead of just doing tests like this. So wish me luck. I got it, guys! Guys, we are very defeated. We have spent 3 days, and this morning with Eugenia welding all the perimeter, and while we were welding the perimeters we realized that this is not going to work in our specific case. So the idea was to cut the corners, drop it to the back, and then pour the concrete on the floor, form the walls and pour the concrete of the walls, and then bring it up like this and weld it. But it's not going to work. We don't have a space in between this excavation that we did here and the back of it to weld it once we have the walls built. We have been thinking, and if we leave a place that is not actually sealed, it will be much worse than not waterproofing at all, because if the drain ever fails and the water raises, for example, imagine that we are not able to weld here, no? If the water level raises up to here and water goes in, at some point the water on the outside will evaporate or leave through the ground, but the water that went in between the concrete and the PVC, it will remain there forever, pretty much, until it goes through the concrete out, which is exactly what we want to avoid in the first place. This, for example, was another weak point. that I mean, I thought about it, but I was like, oh, we will figure out when we get here. This beam is gonna continue over here, and then it will go through this membrane. So this hole that we need to make to the membrane, the moment that the water rises to this point, it will just happily go in between the membrane and the concrete wall that we will have here, which will be very bad. It is a tough decision. We spent 1,200 euros in PVC membrane, but I'm afraid that this is not going to work. Decided to move to the plan A, which we should have followed to begin with, and I think that at this time a timely retreat is in itself a victory, instead of just trying to figure out and not accomplish anything and create a problem much bigger than what it was supposed to be. We're gonna just remove everything, deal with the loss of the money and the time, and continue building. This is hurting me more than it's hurting you. I am reusing these legs. You must be an OG viewer to remember this. They are the legs that we used to put the solar panels on the ground before we built the workshop. Despite Eugenia's efforts of getting rid of trash, I kept them, and now they're gonna come very handy because we need to build some sort of a structure to be able to unroll the pipes of the radiant floor heating. There are a lot of do-yourselves online where they just turn on the ground, but you need an actual flat ground to do that. And I don't have anything now. I'm building the first actual flat horizontal ground. I think I'm gonna use this, by the way. This is just like a bar that I had also left over from a different project, which is the perfect size. And in order not to damage the pipe with the thread, I'm gonna be putting also this pipe. But the main issue that I have right now, this is not tall enough because the roll is 80 centimeters. This is just shy of 66, so I will need to extend it. And for that I'm planning to add a track that I also have left over. This is from the this is from the mistake that we made of the main door of the cabin. You need to really be an OG viewer to remember this. It was bad times, man, when we made that mistake. But now, you know, looking at the bright side, we have this piece here. Alright, I'm setting up the first zone of the radiant floor heating. This will be where the manifold is going to be, and then I will start doing circuits 15 centimeters apart. That's what the engineer from Uponor designed for our project. It could be 15, it could be 20 centimeters. In our case, it's 15. I've never done this before. I have heard that in other videos, in YouTube videos, that it's very complicated to do it alone. Unfortunately, Eugenia is busy. I could be either doing that, trying to do it alone, or just not doing anything at the cabin. So I'm just gonna try and see if I can tame the pipe. Another tip that I got from the Uponor team was to actually make this like a bulb kind of shape. Alright guys, so I'm already returning, as you can see here, and I'm gonna try to explain how this system works. So basically I have done this outer line, you see, 1, 2, 3, and then 5, 6, and then I'm coming back in the inside like that, and then again I will go back in the inside. That way the hottest water will be the one closest to the manifold, because it's the one that is just out of the heater basically. That way, if you do it like Uponor design it, like I'm doing right now, the hot water will be evenly spread out, and you will be mixing pipes with hot water and pipes with warm water, because as it is returning, it will be a little bit less hot. So it will be warm still, but it will be less hot, because some of the energy of the heat is already transferred to the concrete. That way you are spreading the heat more evenly, rather than just doing all in one loop like this and then coming back. That way you will have this side very hot and this side less hot. I hope it makes sense. I'm not too sure how I can explain this. Ready for concrete. Pressure is pretty good, doesn't go down, but I'm gonna double check in the actual system. Looks good, no leaks. If I would have punctured any pipes with the 6 bars of pressure, we will see like a big stream of water going up. Now I can rest assured that if I pour the concrete and there is any leaks, we might have done it while pouring concrete, and there is no way for me to fix that anyway. So at least I know that my job is done, and I couldn't do anything better than what we have done already. All the tools are now clean, and now we're just waiting for the concrete to dry. This is drying a little bit faster. We need to wait until we can push a little bit with the finger and it will go down like 4 millimeters, like 1/16 of an inch, and then we will put that plate in there, and the volunteer will take, our new volunteer, and carry it, hopefully with no issues, down there, because that machine is extremely heavy. Maybe I will say, I don't want to say too much, but maybe 50 kilograms easy. We're gonna try to carry it with these straps. I'm gonna put 2 just in case one breaks. We have 2, and then we're gonna hook it up there and place it there. But before that, we need to wait for the concrete to dry a little, to set a little. I will show you later when we think it's dry. Uy. ¿Lloverá, tío? Que está encapotando, ¿no?
No, no, no tenemos mucha suerte.
To get inside, I'm gonna be wearing my last running shoes. I ran like 600 kilometers with these ones, and they're already done. So I already have a new replacement for running, so I'm gonna be using this for all the concrete slabs. I ran so much in them that the outer sole is pretty much smooth, so I don't leave any marks in the concrete. Not a big deal anyways, because you're gonna go with the power trowel and clean all the marks, but the less marks you do, I guess, the less work you need to clean up later. So these are gonna be my working shoes now. Been putting my fingers in it every 20 minutes or so, just to double check. And this is the last one. I think it's almost ready. And also, there is the complicated part. This side is ready. So now it's just a matter of trying to find a balance in between what's more dry and what's more wet, and see when you're jumping in, because if you jump too early, it could be bad because the machine will sink in, but if you go too late, it will be too late already. This side is dry already, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys, how you see it. Your answer won't help us at all because this will be late. But looks a little bit too wet, no? Yo me metí allá.
Jugando.
Alright guys, it was too wet, especially on this side. I was sinking very much, so I stopped. That's another tip that I read, that I actually watch. Just to stop, if you're seeing that it's too wet, stop, wait a few minutes more and then come back. You will do more harm if you keep going. So I just stopped there. By the way, the machine with the float pan is very hard to control, and it looks like a lot of rain is coming, so it's gonna be a fun day. Have you seen the weather? Have you seen the clouds?
We are lucky people.
Yeah.
Today is not going to rain.
All right. We had this tarp just in case we had it there waiting for it, So we just put it there. Hopefully it's just a cloud, because I can see there that the sky is already clear. So it's probably just this cloud, this packer cloud. Not the best experience for our first concrete slab. I'm very grateful that we didn't pick to do the whole thing. It would have been a nightmare. It's raining hard now, so hopefully the tarp does it. Cógete la cámara que se te vamos a agarrarlo aquí que no se caiga. Pisarlo aquí que no se te mueva. For 10 minutes it destroyed all our work. You can see it's super wet, but at least I think we got most of it out of the concrete, because we put the tarp. That side over there is completely destroyed, and this side over here, as you can see, not looking very good, a lot of water, but it is what it is. So we're trying to do our best. It wasn't supposed to rain today, but that cloud didn't think the same, and now it's all sunny again, as you can see. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna try to remove the tarp, removing the water in this direction, because this is the part, this part it will be hidden later. So if we mess something up, it will be better this part, but not ideal, to be honest. Vamos, arriba otra vez, que lo llevamos a echar contigo. Vamos. Ah, necesito de pie, ¿no? Vale, estamos. A ver si te cojo, ¿no? After the first pass, the Eugenia is going with the hand float, with the magnesium one, cleaning up the edges. And now I think we're ready. This side is wet and that side is dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a second pass with the float pan, this time perpendicular to the first one. Wish me luck, because this machine is scary, man. Started raining again, and we had to cover it again. We were almost ready to go for the first pass with without the float pan, but I don't think I'm gonna risk it though, because if it rains and we're doing that, it's game over. I think we're gonna trap water inside. This has been really stressful. I don't wish this to anybody, but it is what it is. Eugenia's not feeling it either. How are you doing, Eugenia? Today was not the day. Alright, it's raining, so we're gonna go in. it because I'm too tired. But now you can see the reflection. Can you see the reflection of the machine on the floor? Oh my goodness. It is polished. I don't know. All I know is that I'm looking at the machine and I'm seeing the machine twice.